going on? Jeff Hardy, the Charismatic Enigma here, and you are watching the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast.
Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, something rosy on the wood. And bitch, I got the belt so you just get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Big O, I am turning. Big O, wood, I'm burning. Big O. Big O. Yo, welcome to this week's episode of the weekly wrestling report of the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast. Of course, I am your host, the illustrious, your role model, the blueprint, Dame Don. Welcome everybody. Audio week continues. I will be back in studio next week. I do know I'm a little late. I know this was supposed to be like a Saturday morning wrestling show, and it's very much like Saturday afternoon, evening-ish. I just really couldn't get out of bed this morning. I was just really, fucking exhausted. There's been a lot going on. I kind of touched on that in my last non-wrestling episode, so definitely take a listen to that. Before we get started, just make sure you go ahead and follow me on the socials at DonLife with 2 N's and 2 E's on Instagram. And of course, the Twitter is just at Dame Don. Let's just jump right in. This has been a really big week for wrestling. I have an announcement. I now own ROH, Ring of Honor. There's no Shane here. Tony Khan now owns Ring of Honor. Am I the only one that hates the way he talks? I don't know if he's nervous or what, but he talks very cringy to me. I now own Ring of Honor. And then the other thing he said one time, when I really realized he talked really cringe to me, was when he was like, you wanted Sid Hook. I'm like, what the fuck is, what's going on with him? He just talks so weird to me. But this is big news. Tony Khan definitely owns Ring of Honor ROH. There is a lot of good talent down in Ring of Honor, so this is actually a really good thing. I feel like the only negative that can come out of this is Tony Khan is now going to have a lot of talent, and he is not really using the talent that he has already, aside from AEW Dark. And I don't really watch Dark. Unless Jade or Brian or somebody's on there, I'm not watching Dark. So I don't really know what they're going to do with that. I did hear that they're thinking about turning it into a developmental company. So that'll be interesting that they will have 2 developmental companies now in AEW, being ROH and NXT Black and Gold brand. Since everybody from NXT Black and Gold is now there, those 2 developmental brands. Come back to AEW, let's just kind of quickly jump through things. I just want to also tell you guys, if you are still having issues with Peacock, please upgrade to the unlimited package, ultimate package, whatever the fucking package is called, the $10 package. Upgrade to that package. I have literally had no issues with Peacock since I've upgraded to this package. And if you know me, if you look through my fucking tweets, I have complained about Peacock weekly, daily sometimes, since they've switched over from the network. I've had no issues since I went ahead and I upgraded to that new package. So if you're still having issues, please go ahead and switch that over. Pat McAfee, Vince McMahon interview was really good. I don't know if I would call Vince my idol or what, but I literally watched the whole interview, didn't touch my phone, I was just all ears, I just really wanted to learn whatever Vince had to say. And this was his first interview, and I believe they said 15, 20 years, something like that. And Vince just really kind of touched on a lot of things about, how the internet is biased. He spoke on how the internet is a bit biased and harsh. And when he said that to me, what I thought about immediately was, this is why fans don't get what they want on the internet, because you all are so biased. You all are very much one-sided. WWE can do one thing and AEW can do damn near the same exact thing in 2 months, and it's gonna be the best thing everybody's ever seen, and 5 stars from David Meltzer. Why the fuck does everybody care so much about his ratings, by the way? But yeah, it would be 5 stars from Meltzer, and everybody would just love it. So everybody is very biased when it comes to WWE versus anybody really, and Vince doesn't really do these interviews and things, so you don't really see a human side to Vince at all. This interview was kind of great for kind of getting a human side of Vince, because I feel like everybody still kind of hates Vince because everybody thinks of Vince in the mindset of Mr. McMahon, especially like these younger fans that are like that were born like in 2000 up. Really, all they know is Mr. McMahon. They don't really know anybody else. So it's easy for them to just be like, oh, it's Vince. Oh, yeah, Vince won't let them do this. Like, shut the fuck up. It's business, first of all. It's a publicly traded company, first of all. So it's not just always just Vince. But I do feel like Vince is one of those people that is definitely just like in kayfabe. Like one of the last people really, aside from Undertaker, and Undertaker didn't break that until he retired. Vince is like really the only person that'll just kind of let you say whatever, and he's not going to debug it. He doesn't give a fuck. Vince also announced that he will be inducting The Undertaker into the Hall of Fame, which I did state that it should be either Vince or Cain to induct The Undertaker. I'm not going to lie. I think Vince and Undertaker have killed somebody together before. Or they've had somebody killed or something at some point. Just like the way they talk about each other, of being so loyal and being able to trust each other. I think they've killed somebody before. Or they've had somebody killed or something. I think they've killed somebody. I'm not gonna lie. Speaking of killing somebody, Cain Velasquez, former WWE superstar, former UFC superstar athlete, I don't know what they call them, but he was just arrested for attempted murder because I guess he shot someone that had sexually violated a family friend, and I can't really blame him for that. If that comes out to be true, or like, you know, the test proves that, you know, he did actually violate that young lady, he should be let off. That's definitely not something that he should be going to jail for. The man deserved to be shot if he was sexually assaulting people. I'm sorry. There were rumors going around that AEW had a deal going with HBO Max to put AEW's programming on HBO, much like WWE is with the Peacock thing. That would be big, actually. That would actually be really fucking huge for AEW. That might bring more eyes to AEW. They did say that was supposed to be the announcement, and instead we got the announcement of ROH. It'll be interesting to see if they announce this later on down the line, or if this was just kind of scuttlebutt and rumors and nobody really knows what they're talking about. That is also going to be interesting to see, because I could actually kind of see Tony Khan being like, oh, I have another announcement, because you know he has an announcement every 2 fucking weeks. So I could definitely see him saying, oh, I have an announcement, and then, you know, announcing the deal with HBO Max. Randy Orton appeared to have been injured this past Monday, taking a frog splash from Montez Ford. Apparently the match was supposed to end with RK Bro winning the match, but of course the Street Profits ended up taking the match after Randy Orton just pretty much got the wind knocked out of him. I heard it wasn't really a serious injury, but they stated that Orton just kind of got the wind knocked out of him with that frog splash from Montez Ford, and that's kind of what took place. They did say that he might have had some type of spinal injury, and they're just going to be monitoring him closely over the week to just see how that goes. Word has come out that there is no WrestleMania plans for Bayley, but I've always said that Bayley will come back on the SmackDown after WrestleMania, which I'll be at, by the way. So there's no WrestleMania plans for Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and where the fuck is Lacey Evans? Where is Lacey Evans? I'm not even sure if Asuka is cleared, honestly, because she just tweeted this morning like, oh, how much of rumors are actually true? I definitely see them just bringing Bayley back the night after WrestleMania, or the SmackDown after WrestleMania, because, you know, they always like to have those big returns and debuts after WrestleMania. So I've always kind of had her pitched in for that SmackDown after Mania. I'm not really sure what the fuck they're doing with Bliss. If they're not going to have Bliss in a match at WrestleMania, they honestly could have had her do therapy until the Raw after Mania. Because what the fuck was the point of bringing her back at the Elimination Chamber if you have nothing for her? They need to do something with the women and have them in like a multi-women match. And I don't mean like a WrestleMania Battle Royal. They need to be in something like worthwhile, maybe like a ladder match. Like, give me an 8-women ladder match with 4 women from Raw, 4 women from Raw, 4 women from SmackDown, and the winner gets a future title match at a later date. Like something like that. They need to do something to get more women incorporated on this show. Because the fact that they have all these women just kind of sitting around doing nothing, it's not really okay. They have to do something with these women. They can't just throw them in a battle royal. They have to put them in a match that is going to be meaningful, that'll give everybody some type of WrestleMania moment. They have to do that. It's just been reported that Samoa Joe relinquished his title previously. They said he had injury issues, and I stated on the podcast that I thought that was pretty much bullshit when they said it. It was also, Joe just revealed that he had to relinquish the title due to catching COVID. And so that was the reason he actually relinquished the title, was due to the fact that he had caught COVID, which is really interesting to me because they definitely could have just had him take a week or 2 off like they did with Roman or anybody else. Apollo Crews, when he was Intercontinental Champion, I believe he caught COVID. Like, I don't understand. Like, I pretty much feel like that just solidified that they just wanted nothing to do with Joe. Because the fact that he got COVID and really pretty much recovered in the time frame, and they just stripped him of the title immediately, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And then they just released him. Like, they didn't even, like, allow him to close the chapter. Like, his chapter ends with him winning the NXT title and then relinquishing it due to injury, but the injury was really COVID, even though they could have just had him defend the title and lose it to Tommaso Ciampa or something. Like, that didn't make any sense. They clearly just didn't want anything to do with Samoa Joe. Edge has finally turned heel. I have been waiting for the Rated R Superstar. I have been waiting for you could just see it in his walk when he was going to get the chair. I have been waiting for this heel Edge. I have been waiting for the Psycho Edge. I cannot wait for him to pull his hair out from the root before a spear. We are finally getting Edge versus AJ Styles, with Edge being the heel, turning heel on AJ Styles with the low blow, which is pretty much the common thing for everybody with AJ Styles. Everybody loves to low blow AJ Styles. That's how everybody turns heel. But this was a great heel turn. Hit him with the concerto. Perfect. I've been waiting for this. This is going to be an absolute roof blower of a match. This match is going to be absolutely tremendous. I cannot wait for this match, and of course I will be there live for that, as well as we will be headed to Dallas, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and also add to the list Monday Night Raw. And then we'll be flying back and then going to Friday Night SmackDown. And then after SmackDown, I may have a surprise. I may have a surprise that I may or may not do. That's why I'm not telling you yet. And I feel like if I put it out there in the atmosphere, I would have to do it. That's not something I want to do right now, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But I might have a surprise for y'all after the fact. Becky Lynch learned the hard way this past Monday. Don't touch Bianca Belair's hair. She whipped the shit out of Becky Lynch. And I actually rewinded that shit so many times because I thought it was actually like a sound effect that they added in. And I thought it was a sound effect until I seen a video that a fan had posted. I think it was either on Twitter or Instagram. They were there live and you heard the sound live. I was like, holy shit. Becky Lynch still has the fucking whelp across her stomach. She just posted, I believe it was either yesterday or the day before. She still has the whelp across her stomach, and it's gonna stay there for quite some time. The lesson learned here is definitely don't touch Bianca Belair's hair. I'm really excited for this match at WrestleMania. The only two women to win their WrestleMania main events facing each other. Becky Lynch was trying to argue that they should be main eventing the show because they're the only two women to main event. And that is a good argument. That is a really good argument. But unfortunately, Becky, you have to bow down to the queen. That's just, how that goes. Speaking of the Queen, everybody knows I love Charlotte more than the next person, probably a lot more than the next person. But why are they going with this whole Charlotte never tapped out thing last night on Friday Night SmackDown? They're going with this whole, oh, I've never tapped out either, or Charlotte has never tapped out. Since when has Charlotte never tapped out? What the fuck are y'all talking about? When Charlotte has tapped out the fucking Asuka, fucking Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks was the first person I thought about. How the fuck are they gonna sit here and say, oh, Charlotte has never tapped out? Whose idea was that? Whose idea was that to say that she's never tapped out? She's definitely tapped out. And I love Charlotte Flair. Everybody knows I love Charlotte Flair more than anybody ever. But we can't do that. We're not gonna sit there and do that. And we're just all over the place with this. So let's just jump back to Monday Night Raw. Tommaso Ciampa has a new theme song, and it has pretty much had the internet in an uproar to the point where he had to release a statement and say that he liked his new theme song and telling everybody to calm down. He likes his new theme song. Everybody else needs to not worry about his theme song because he likes his theme song. I don't really care about the damn theme song, honestly. Tommaso Ciampa, he is a good wrestler, but he's not really my cup of tea since DIY. After DIY and the whole Johnny Gargano feud, it was just kind of over for me. Like, I am a fan of his, but his song isn't gonna make or break him for me. I'm not that invested in Tommaso Ciampa, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. Has everybody gotten their shovels ready? And I think everybody should know exactly where I'm going with this, because what happened to Vince giving up on Finn Balor? What happened to Vince not pushing Finn Balor? What happened to Vince giving up on Ricochet and not pushing Ricochet? What happened to all of that? What happened to, Vince is giving up on Finn Balor. Vince doesn't use Ricochet properly. He needs to be in storylines. Finn Balor has been buried since his NXT run. Huh? Where is everybody? Where is everybody? Finn Balor only needs the tag team championships to become a Grand Slam champion at this point. Ricochet has held every mid-card title there is, so clearly they see something in him and he will get some type of title opportunity at some point. Clearly they see something in Ricochet. They've released 100,000 people at this point, and Ricochet has not been released. That is a plus. Ricochet is on TV every week. That is also a plus. Nobody on TV every week is buried. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Nobody on TV every single week, whether they're losing, whether they're whatever, they're not buried. You have to look at the story being played. If Ricochet is losing every week and he's losing to interferences or he's losing to Sheamus distracting him, he is not buried. He's not being beat clean. What are y'all talking about? He's not being beat clean. How is he being buried? How's he being buried? Everybody said, Vince gave up on Finn Balor. He lost to Austin Theory, he's buried. He lost to Austin Theory, he's buried. He lost to Austin Theory, then he went to Ireland and he had a family emergency and then he came back. And now he's the champion within 2 weeks of coming back after everybody said he was buried. When Finn Balor returned, he had a world championship match against Roman Reigns. He lost the match against Roman Reigns. He came back as the Demon and faced Roman Reigns again for the title. Where the fuck are you getting this Finn Balor is buried shit from? Let's just leave it all behind us. Let's just let it all go. From here on out, let's just leave it all behind us, because you all sound fucking dumb. And I've been saying that from the jump. I've been saying it from the jump. Now I hope this maybe eases y'all a little bit. Maybe y'all have the proof. And somebody even said, he only won the championship so he could lose it at WrestleMania. Like, what? Who the fuck cares? Y'all need to realize that I do hope that they do have long title reigns. I really do. But at the end of the day, it is all about numbers. It is all about numbers. Charlotte Flair right now, 13-time women's championship. You think I remember when she lost her 5th women's championship, how she lost it? Do you? Without Google, do you? No, you don't. So they're just giving people numbers to their titles, really. When you see these multiple title changes, like with Sami Zayn, he just won the title and then he lost it the next week. Even though he lost it the next week, that still makes Sami Zayn a 2-3-time Intercontinental Champion. That's all that matters at the end of the day. When they look down at the numbers, at the end of the day, they're going to say, wow, Sami Zayn was a two-time Intercontinental Champion. They're not going to say, oh, Sami Zayn was an Intercontinental Champion, lost it in 7 days. Well, actually, there is actually some fans that do that. Actually, there is actually some fans that do that. But you catch my point. You catch my point. It is all about numbers at the end of the day. Like, I remember back in the pandemic era, there was something with Sasha and Asuka. They were just kind of trading the titles back and forth. Trading the titles. And everybody's like, why are they trading the titles? Why are they trading the titles? Because it is all about the numbers. When they got done with that made Sasha like a 5 or 6 time women's champion, whatever it was. It made Asuka a 3 or 4 time women's champion, whatever it was. It is all about the numbers at the end of the day. The winner take all title match at WrestleMania will unify the title, and then they said that a new title would be introduced on whatever show at a later date. So they plan on unifying this title and I guess making a new big unified title and then introducing another title from what I read. That's what I gathered from what I read. So they'll basically be putting these titles together and then getting another title if this is true. I'm not really sure how true it is, but that's what they said. That's what they said. Not only does Finn Balor only need the tag team champions to become a Grand Slam champion, but so does Kevin Owens. Those are the only 2 titles that they need to become Grand Slam champions. So we need to go ahead and give Seth and KO those titles too. But also, I feel like if you give them those titles, what happens with them at WrestleMania? Because I don't see them being in a title match at WrestleMania. And I would also like to see maybe the Street Profits get a match at WrestleMania. I feel like at WrestleMania needs to be the time where they separate Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. I almost want to say, put Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford in a tag team match at WrestleMania, have them lose, and have Dawkins snap, because Montez Ford is obviously going to be the babyface. He's obviously going to be the babyface. I feel like you can have Dawkins snap and just beat the shit out of Montez Ford, because at the end of the day, Dawkins is unfortunately going to be the weaker link. He's most definitely Marty Jannetty once this team is over. So if you can split them and make him look as strong as possible when they split, he might be okay. But once you do split those 2 up, Montez Ford will be the star, and we don't really know what's going to happen with Angelo Dawkins. We don't really know. Speaking of the title unification match, I just want to point out, if you were watching Friday Night SmackDown last week, when Roman Reigns was talking, pay attention to Paul Heyman's facial expressions and how Paul Heyman is looking and, kind of just unsure. Paul Heyman is definitely going to be the deciding factor in this WrestleMania match some way, somehow. He's going to be involved. Something's going to take place with Paul Heyman. You can just tell by the way he's looking, he's acting. He is going to have some type of input into this WrestleMania main event, 100%, hands down. Speaking of somebody getting involved in matches they have no business getting involved with, if you think Sonya Deville is going to let Naomi have a WrestleMania match uninterrupted, you are crazy out of your mind. If you think Sonya Deville is not going to try to throw every trick in the book at Naomi, because I don't think they've really closed up this storyline. Is it over now that Naomi beat her? I'm not really sure how this is going to go. I don't see them having Sonya just being like, okay, Naomi has a WrestleMania match and that be the end of it. You are absolutely nuts if you think Sonya Deville is not going to get involved in this match in some way, form, or fashion, unless this feud is over and I just completely missed it. Unless the feud is over. Did I miss this feud being over? Because otherwise, Sonya Deville is getting involved with this. I'm not really sure. They had Natty watching. Maybe Natty's going to be her partner. I don't really know what's going on. But we'll see. Sami Zayn lost the title and will face Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. This is like the weirdest WrestleMania card ever in fucking life. Sami Zayn is facing Johnny Knoxville. Pat McAfee is facing Austin Theory, which we kind of all seen that coming. Maybe Vince will be involved in that match in some way, somehow. But this card is just kind of all over the place. I'm excited about it, but it's all over the place. Fucking Logan Paul is here. Johnny Knoxville is here. Fucking Pat McAfee is here. I guess it is truly the most stupendous WrestleMania in history because it is just every fucking where. There's been reports that came out that Cody Rhodes is no longer in talks with WWE, that the talks have kind of fallen through. Who cares? I don't really. I feel like we're still being worked. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I very much feel like we're being worked. I don't know if Cody and AEW are trying to have Cody come in and run ROH. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't trust it either. I feel like we're being worked 100%. MJF and CM Punk had a tremendous promo segment. MJF and CM Punk have been having a lot of great promo segments throughout this feud. And they just keep getting better and better. I'm kind of over it, actually, honestly, with this feud. I'm kind of over it. I don't really know if they're going to have Punk win or MJF win. I almost feel like Wardlow's going to cost MJF at this point. The promos are really good. The promos are kind of keeping me the most interested, but it's very well documented. I don't really give a shit about CM Punk, and I really can't even tell you one match of CM Punk's I've watched since he's returned. Maybe I think I've maybe watched one, but the Darby Allin match I didn't watch. The first MJF match I didn't watch. The match with Wardlow I didn't watch. I just don't give a shit about CM Punk. I genuinely don't care. I genuinely don't care. It is being stated that Triple H may no longer wrestle again due to the issues that he's having with his heart. And this is what I've been saying for quite some time, that, you know, everybody's just worrying about, oh, they took NXT from Triple H. They took NXT from Triple H. There's something genuinely wrong. They didn't just take it from him because they wanted to take it from him. There's something that is really, really wrong. Definitely, because that is definitely serious, and we definitely hope that we can get Triple H back in the ring. But if he can't, you know, we definitely understand there's nothing we can really do about that at all, really. Before we get on out of here, I just want to say that there will be a lot of wrestling content coming in April, towards the end of March. My birthday is March 29th. I leave for WrestleMania week March 30th. So pretty much the 30th to the 10th, it's pretty much going to be all wrestling. I'm going to Monday Night Raw in Dallas. I'm going to WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and then of course I'm flying back and going to SmackDown. So there will be a lot of good wrestling content for you guys, and then we'll come back. I'll take that Monday off, and then that Friday I'll just kind of recap WrestleMania week for you with whatever voice I have left. With whatever voice I have left, I'm genuinely concerned as to how I'm going to get through all of this. Like, genuinely concerned how I'm going to get through all of this. But it's going to be exciting. I really can't wait. I'm going to try to interview a couple fans while I'm out there. Just, you know, try to get the full experience and really get the most enjoyment out of this. If I don't go to another show for the rest of the year, I feel like I'll be satisfied. One of my mini goals for the year was to go to more shows this year than I did last year, which was 3. And after WrestleMania, I'll already break my goal. I went to the Royal Rumble. So pretty much after WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2, my goal is broken. Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown is just a plus. Like, I know I'm going to go to another show, but if I don't go to another show this year, I would be 100% satisfied. Like, I can't even lie. I appreciate you all for listening to this week's Wrestling Report. Check me out and listen to Monday's episode of the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast. I'm still getting a topic together. But in the meantime, make sure you follow me on my socials at Don Life with 2 N's and 2 E's on Instagram. And of course, the Twitter is just at Dame Don. Deuce.